Remember this photo right here? Yep, that's Sean O'Brien. He's the leader of the Teamsters union with Donald Trump. Oh, soaking it up at Mar-a-Lago, living the high life like we expect of union leaders. Good job, Sean. But Sean, where are you right now? I mean, you spoke at the RNC, you went to Mar-a-Lago, took those great photos with Donald Trump, refused to endorse Vice President Kamala Harris. You made it sound in your RNC speech like both sides aren't good to unions, when meanwhile, President Biden was probably delivering more to unions than any president in the history of the United States, from how President Biden helped the National Labor Relations Board to literally being on the picket lines to ensuring the collective bargaining rights of unions were always protected, always standing with the workers. But I don't know. I guess there's an allure of you going to Mar-a-Lago. But here's the thing, Sean. I went through the Teamsters account and your personal account after speaking at the RNC to help Donald Trump, after all those photo ops to help Donald Trump, after not speaking truth to your union members about what Donald Trump was going to do to your union, how he was going to screw your union workers and take away their collective bargaining rights and destroy their lives. And by the way, he's on audio with Elon Musk laughing at the rights of employers to fire workers, which you've previously called economic terrorism. But Trump's your guy. Objectively, he was your guy, right? So why on the Teamsters account now and on your personal account, when I scroll through it, I don't see even a congratulations? Why don't you congratulate your guy? Why don't you congratulate Daddy Trump, Sean? He's your guy. Tell him that you wished him the best. Not even a congratulations after throwing your own members under the bus. Yeah, the individual Teamsters local chapters had to go out and endorse Vice President Kamala Harris, but your message was loud and clear that you didn't support Vice President Kamala Harris, that you didn't support President Biden after they literally did everything for you. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to just show a clip. I'm not playing clips of Trump a lot. I'm done with doing that, okay, right now. I'm going to show this small clip, though, of this one, just a small one, of Trump and Elon Musk laughing and mocking the fact that bosses should fire union workers who strike, something that you've referred to as economic terrorism, yet you are going to support economic terrorism? Make that make sense. Here, just play this clip.
This Cutter, I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it. But, you know, if you look at Argentina.
And early on in the Biden administration, I had the opportunity to interview an individual who was a leader in a union who broke it down succinctly. Here's the North America Building Trade Union Chief of Staff, Mike Monroe. I interviewed him April 15th of 2022. So since then, Biden has done, listen to what this guy says, times it by 50 to 100. That's what Biden's done for unions. And I want you to listen to how he describes what Trump did. Completely broke every promise to unions, undermined American workers. And as of 2022, Biden had done more than any president before. Listen to actually someone speak the truth. Here, play this clip.
When you have someone like that, like a Trump, just so brutally lie to people, and it's a vicious lie because he's playing with your family's life and your livelihood. You know, for him, it's a gimmick. Infrastructure week, we're building this, we're doing that. To millions of Americans, what that means is, what type of dinner am I going to put on my family's plate? And so when he so savagely lies to people like that, how do we message to people like what that is, what that truly means, and have people not be distracted onto, you know, the next scam or the next gimmick?
We had 4 core issues where we were directly engaged, right? And we were told one thing and then nothing materialized, right? As I said, the anti-labor bent, undermining the apprenticeship system that has worked for 100 years, registered apprenticeship system, infrastructure never materialized. And then he told our leadership, most notably Teamsters and others, that he was going to protect their pensions. None of that happened. And in the first calendar year of President Biden and Vice President Harris's administration, with Democrats control the House and a narrow majority in the Senate, they protected those pensions. They've invested in infrastructure. They've restaffed the NLRB, right? They got rid of IRAPs, which was the assault on apprenticeship. I mean, in 1 year, that moved. And that's what we communicate to our folks about. Cloud out all the noise. These things have tangible benefits to your life, to your family's lives. And this was done under this administration, despite all the banners and the rallies and the mastering of, language and sort of propaganda. Let's look at the results. And that's where we find ourselves.
And just so you see the kind of contrast right here, this is President Biden standing with unions. Compare that to Donald Trump attacking unions. Play this clip.
The entire UAW proved what I've always believed. Wall Street didn't build America. The middle class built America. And unions built the middle class. That was true in the 20th century. It's still true today. And Americans know it. That's why unions are more popular today than they've been in decades.
The union was negotiating a terrible thing a terrible thing. They were negotiating hourly wages.
I know the unions are dues-sucking people. They just want their dues, and they couldn't care less.
Yeah, but it's like pigs at the slaughterhouse supporting the slaughterer. I guess that's an apt analogy to Sean O'Brien. I mean, you're supporting that guy. Okay, let's take a look at the Bloomberg article that came out today about what Trump is likely going to do to workers' gains during the Biden era. Just let's take a look at this. The landmark labor wins of the past few years are now vulnerable to a hostile government. Yes, the entire Trump administration is hostile. One of the things they're going to do is gut the National Labor Relations Board, which allows workers to contest being unlawfully terminated or fired or having their wages cut. Bye-bye. So if anyone in the Teamsters wants to avail themselves of the National Labor Relations Board, and you think that you're going to have your rights vindicated, thank Shawnee for that. Tell Sean, great work. Let's vote against our interests and let's vote for the oligarchs who are screwing us. That makes a lot of sense. Let's literally vote for the oligarchs against our own interests. They've made a lot of money, by the way. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. Let's want to talk Bezos quickly because I see, by the way, you can't make this stuff up. As you look through the Teamsters account, they are bragging about, look, Teamsters General President Sean O'Brien and labor leaders and elected officials rallied in support of Amazon workers who are pushing back against the e-commerce giant and organizing for union rights, respect, fair wages, and a safe workplace. Good luck with that under the Trump administration. But hey, Jeff Bezos made tens of billions of dollars since Trump was in office already, as has Elon Musk. Oh, and they're going to crush it with their tax plan. But I suspect that your workers will be taxed far more, especially when you include how tariffs are going to increase the costs that they face on a daily basis. But I digress. Let's take a look at this Bloomberg article right here. It says, for American labor, which has been embattled for decades but invigorated over the past few years, Donald Trump's big win is a body blow. But it's not a body blow, Sean. You hanging out with him in Mar-a-Lago. You refuse to endorse Harris. During Joe Biden's presidency, workers have racked up historic victories that would have been unimaginable just a few years earlier. Historic union contracts with the big three automakers, Hollywood Studios, UPS, and Boeing. Unions freshly established at Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Chipotle, and Starbucks. Amazon, he helped you do it. But I'm sure it's great. Throw him under the bus. Why help the person who helped you? Why would you do that? The risks and burdens foisted on workers early in the COVID era had a lot to do with making those changes feel urgent. The tight labor markets the pandemic created made them seem more possible. But the Biden administration played an important part too. A handful of key appointees took on corporate America in ways unseen in decades. The industrial policy coming out of Washington favored workers. Biden himself walked a picket line. These moves helped create openings for organized labor that Trump is likely to slam shut. Oh, I always want my leaders to slam doors shut on my face. That's what I'm looking for. Great work. All of that is now under threat, says Daniel Vicente, a regional director for the United Auto Workers. Everything becomes harder, from organizing to negotiating strong contracts and strikes. On the campaign trail this year, Trump courted union workers and promised many that he would do better than Biden did. Well, you could have looked at Donald Trump's record to take a look at it, because the last time Trump ran the government, however, he filled key enforcement roles with management side attorneys, meaning not favorable for workers, favorable for management side attorneys, who push for companies to have more control over workers' tips, more time to run anti-union campaigns, and more discretion over who gets paid overtime. Now that he's had some practice, he's likely to do more faster with a deregulatory emphasis. Oh, but I thought he also promised no tax on tips. Wait a minute. If we actually go back to his policy, we see that his policy was no tips, that the bosses, the employers, own the tips of their employees. We could have just looked back on what he did, but why look back and focus on data, right? Let's just say the words tariff over and over and over again. Tariff this, tariff that. Why don't we just do that? And by the way, where was this report and media talking about this, like during the campaign when we were like the only ones talking about it, maybe a handful of others at the MeidasTouch Network, but all good. Now that he's had some practice, he's going to do more faster with a deregulatory emphasis, says Paul DeCamp, a corporate lawyer who served as George W. Bush's wage and hour enforcement chief. There's no real preparation for being president other than having been president. Biden's appointees have issued rules to eliminate non-compete agreements and make more workers eligible for overtime, and proposed regulations to protect them from excessive heat. More management-friendly regulators could work to dissolve such efforts in tandem with like-minded judges. Project 2025, the policy blueprint drawn up by the Trump administration alumni, calls for the loosening of laws governing safety, non-discrimination, and child labor, and floats eliminating public sector unions. So bye-bye public sector unions, more dangerous, more discrimination, and child labor. Great gains right there for Sean O'Brien. This sounds like it was such a tough choice between Biden and what Donald Trump's going to do. Trump suggests on the stump that he give new pal Elon Musk a crack at this. Oh, so now Elon Musk, who laughs about firing workers, which you've called economic terrorism, is in charge of basically your union. Oh, great work there. So I think we have a sense of, we'll take a look at this too. Trump himself could quickly defang the National Labor Relations Board, the only federal agency that can enforce most employees' rights to unionize or protest their working conditions. Jennifer Abruzzo, the general counsel for Biden's NLRB, has been one of Washington's most ambitious worker champions over the past few years. Trump will have the power to fire her on day one, just as Biden did with her predecessor. Some business advocates are also arguing Trump to make questionably legal move of firing all of the Democrats on the labor board so that he can more quickly unwind the union-friendly rulings of the Biden years. The law says the NLRB members can only be fired for neglect of duty or malfeasance, but companies such as Elon Musk's SpaceX have been arguing that such restrictions is unconstitutional. Trump controls the Supreme Court, so I think you fire the entire National Labor Relations Board, all of their members, which means no more strikes, no more unions. You basically did that to yourself. You played yourself, Sean. But I'm just wondering, why not even send him a congratulations? You've congratulated other politicians. Why don't you wish him thanks? And why don't you then let all your union members know exactly what happened and exactly what is coming? I mean, the most ridiculous stuff in the world. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers together. Share this with your union friends, please. Let them know what's up.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.